Hello, I am Jesse Kimathi and this is the Defiant Misfits podcast. It's story time and I want to share the story of an African boy's encounter with an African American at the Kenyan coast. The title of the story is, The Foul Mouthed Negro. 1 year after campus I found myself between a rock and a hard place. I was on the quest to prove myself a grown man to my parents and the society at large. I remember refusing to take handouts from my dad just to prove a point to him. Due to this I decided to leave my father's home in Taita Taveta and went to Mombasa in pursuit of greener pastures. On the day I was leaving I remember my mum asking me, "Son, are you sure you'll find a job there? You don't have to leave, wait for your father to receive his dividends so that he can bribe one senior officer in the government and you'll get employed." "Mom! Bribing is a sin," I shouted. "Nonetheless, mother, jobs are plenty in the city," I concluded with a tone of finality. My parents had nothing left to say so they gave me their blessings and we parted ways. Little did I know that just like one Negro sung, grass ain't greener on the other side. When I arrived in the lovely coastal city, I was pregnant with expectations of getting a white-collar job, but after a month of tarmac king I found a blue-collar job here, rejected it, found another blue-collar job there, couldn't take it because I considered myself learned. 2 months later I couldn't find even those blue-collar jobs I had been rejecting. My friend, who was my host, started getting impatient with me. He said that he wouldn't be able to accommodate me any longer for he wanted to bring his woman in the house. However, he gave me 1 month to find somewhere else to go. On that note, my search for a source of income heightened. My creativity came in handy. I thought of the tourists along the sandy beaches. What if I started cooking and selling sandwiches? What if I visited those old witches who sell kamuti, the stick with a magic spell that attracts money? No, that would be devil worshipping. I thought to myself, I couldn't start a sandwich selling business without capital. I decided to be walking around the beaches in the hope of finding a tourist who needed any errand run for them. City life is good if you have enough money to spend. That was the case then and will always be the case. Along the beaches, tourists were always having fun. There was no privacy there. Bedroom matters were being carried out live on air, on Instagram Live and wherever these guys felt like doing it. A few tourists thought I was an homosexual for they were willing to pay me $5,000 to do it with them just once. They always shrugged their shoulders when I told them I was only looking for a decent job. Then came the old white women that were willing to pay me thousands of dollars to sleep with them. They all said I was foolish every time I couldn't take their offers. I was almost done looking for a job in the coastal city of Kenya when I met one tall light-skinned black American. He was in his mid-40s and well-built. I didn't think he was a tourist because most of the tourists were white and back then domestic tourists usually visited Mombasa during December holidays. He was fully dressed and wasn't enjoying himself at all. He was dressed in a vintage shirt, a white khaki trouser and cream white loafers. I walked up to him and asked in Swahili, "How are you, sir?" "I don't speak Swahili, boy." "English, bitch." He answered as if irritated. In English I said to him, "I'm sorry sir, I thought you are from around here." He laughed then said, "Me? From around here? Are you kidding me? Do I look like I'm from around here? I mean, look at my designer clothes. Designed in Italy. Look at my shoes. That's Gucci, real Gucci, not counterfeit. Look at my chain, nigga, that's real gold. Look at my watch. Real diamonds. And my phone. This is the latest iPhone, nigga, better recognize. Watch out who you talking to, nigga." That's when it dawned on me that I was talking to a real black American. Before that I had only seen them in those verbally abusive rap songs of theirs. "Like I said sir, I didn't mean to offend you, my name is Katana and I'm looking for a way to earn a living. If there is anything I can do for you sir," I told him. "I am not offended and don't be a bitch who apologizes every time. Never say sorry for being real. It's like being sorry for stating how you feel," he replied. "Okay sir, I'll be on my way now." I told him while leaving but he stopped me before I could go far. "No, wait, My name is Brian Lawrence and I actually have a job for you, boy. See, I work with an internationally known mining company and I need a tour guide around the coastal region of Kenya. Do you know Taita Hills? That's where I want to go, he explained. I wasn't ready to go back to my home county as a mere tour guide to this rude black American, so I said to him, I can't take it, don't you have a better job to offer? I am a university graduate, for crying out loud. He laughed briefly, then looked into my eyes and whispered, I'll pay you more than a doctor. Everybody has a price. Luckily I know yours and it's $4,000 per month for the 6 months I'll be in Kenya. What do you say to that, you lil nig? Yes. Yes. When do we start? I shouted unbelievably. He laughed, then said, nobody can resist the power of money. He dipped his hand in his pocket, fished out a bundle of US dollars and handed it to me. I took it. That's your advance. He said and went on, come on now, carry those bags for me and guide me to a nearby 5-star hotel. I'll book 2 separate hotel rooms for you and I. I've just arrived, you know. I've read a lot about Benjuni girls and I need to confirm if everything I read is indeed true, so I will also need you to organize 3 hot Benjuni girls and bring them to my room tonight. Come on, let's go. I was surprised he had just arrived, but I was lost for words concerning what he may have read about Benjunis that he wanted to confirm. I thought we would go to the nearest 5-star hotel silently, but no, this Negro was talkative. He started telling me a story about a guy that was always choosy. While growing up in Atlanta, I had a friend called Johnny. Johnny was very choosy. While in high school, Johnny rejected Indian pussy. He said Indian pussy was smelly. Johnny rejected some Chinese pussy that came his way, saying he was scared it would infect him with coronavirus. Then several other pussies came begging to be eaten by him, but he said they were too small for him. A white pussy came willing to take him all in, but he said every white pussy was racist. Then came an Arabic pussy crying to be soothed, and all he could do was say that he was scared of being blown off by a sudden bomb blast while at it. Lastly, there came a black pussy, but he said it was too African, and even though he himself was black, he at least wanted a black Briton or a black American, not an African from the Congo bushes. He wasn't interested in a pussy that would moan in a funny Congolese accent. Time went by and no more pussy was available for Johnny. He even begged the pussies he had rejected to give him some, for he had become a porn addict and he was dying of dry spell, but they bluntly said no to Johnny. Johnny had to settle for cow pussy, as the dumped cow wouldn't be able to say no to him, and I guess if it had a voice, it would have said no. All the pussies Johnny had rejected secretly filmed him as he was chewing cow pussy, and the video instantly went viral, making Johnny the new universal face of bestiality. That's what being choosy does to a nigga. He finished telling me the story. We were walking so slow and he kept stopping at some points to emphasize his story. I wasn't worried, for there was enough time. I was worried about his language though, so I warned him, don't talk like that sir, elders might hear you. In Africa we omit some words when telling stories. What's the fucking problem? The Negro asked me. The meaning of that, I think, is erectile dysfunction. Yeah. That's the name of the problem you've just mentioned. Erectile dysfunction, sir. The Negro looked at me and said angrily, I'm not talking about erectile dysfunction, nigga, that's not what I mean. What I mean to say is, am I not fucking paying you? I was shocked as I replied, no sir, you're not having sex while paying me, that's a taboo and it would be inappropriate. You'll be paying me first, then you can go have sex at your own privacy. The Negro burst into laughter and exclaimed, nah men. I mean, that's how we are used to talking back home in America. It doesn't bother us at all. What I mean to say is just tolerate my language and I'll pay you handsomely. I am here to discover a special rock and I'll be gone before you know it. The only special rock here is Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is a rock in a weary land, sir. I said. Okay, whatever. The Negro muttered somewhat to himself, shrugged his shoulders and walked ahead of me. I just wanted to teach him how to speak properly without sounding like a teacher. I wanted to show him the way he was talking was wrong without losing the job he had given me to be his tour guide. From then on, Brian and I went along well. While we were touring Taita Hills, I introduced him to my parents and they were happy I had found a source of income. 5 months later we found the gemstone we had been looking for. I found out that Brian wasn't working for any company but himself. We had become friends by then, so it didn't come as a surprise when he told me we had discovered this highly valuable rock together, so it was only right that I also enjoy the benefits that come with the discovery of a gemstone. That's how I became the co-owner of Katana Mining Company. That's how I came to be this rich. We named the rock we had discovered Katana. Could I have guessed that a foul-mouthed Negro would be my link to riches worth billions of dollars? Thank you for listening to the Foul-Mouthed Negro story. Kindly follow the podcast, leave a comment and a like. If you are using Spotify, don't forget to rate the show. I have been yours composer, Jesse Kimathi, signing out. Adios amigos.